And I on the sideline tripping, I go to the hole with the rock like Pippen. Yeah. I'm okay.
What up, though, and welcome to Woodward Heavyweights Live on WoodwardSports.com. I'm Easy Joe by Spimo Rex.
What up, though?
Chris Nicholas Kohloff is not here. He'll be downtown Detroit for the Tigers game, so make sure you guys keep a lookout for him. Be a part of some of his interviews, some of his content. We are joined by Skywalker in the audio booth.
Shout out.
That's not the only guest we have, Swinny. You know who's coming up today?
Who's that?
Former Pro Bowl. Should have been All-Pro. Wide receiver, Detroit Lion. Allen Robinson will be joining the show around 5:45. Talk about, obviously, the playoff departure. Have some other stuff up our sleeve. You guys stay tuned to for the rest of that one. But Allen Robinson will be joining today's show. Shout out to him for taking the time to come up to the studio. I told him he could do V-Mix because we got a weird massage chair thing going on, but he was down to come in the massage chair.
Yeah.
He's a real one.
He is a real one.
He honestly is a real one.
Yeah, Detroit guy. I'm excited to talk to him. I got a lot that I want to talk to him about, a lot of questions I want to ask him, and obviously long career in the NFL. So
yes.
A lot of cool different things we can ask him. It's going to be awesome. Shout out to him for doing this.
Amen. Spinny, did you see the Tyrese Halliburton news?
Yeah. His hamstring strain?
Calf strain.
Calf strain?
Phil Sam was talking choppy in the chat. I wanted that he was hurt. I'm like, what do we?
If you're that hurt, don't play.
Yeah.
No, now it's the NBA Finals. What are you talking about?
What's the difference between him not playing and him not scoring any buckets? Like, T.J. McConnell was objectively better than him. If you're telling me his leg is so hurt that he can't make a shot, he shouldn't be playing. He should be resting for the next game. And as a team, as a coach, Rick Carlisle, if he was that injured in the first half when he was 0 for everything, you sit him down and you tell him to get right for the next game.
I mean, I feel you, but how many times do we applaud players for gutting it out, trying? So,
well, if you're going to gut it out and be good.
Yeah.
If you're going to gut it out, you have to perform.
You can't have him play hurt and expect the same performance as if you were healthy.
It's not the same performance. That was an abysmal performance.
Terrible.
Like, if you're going to play hurt, you have to be effective. If not, you're hurting your team.
Yeah. Do we think that his performance was because of his injury or just because he had a shit game?
I think he just got clamped up.
Right? I don't know.
I mean, obviously, probably a little mix of both. Like, OKC's not to be
their
snubbed.
perimeter defense is
they're
crazy.
Like, as much as SGA is known as like the foul bin, he's a phenomenal defender as well. I mean, they're defense in total.
Yeah, they got 4 elite perimeter defenders.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're a little banged up, I mean that's somewhat expected. I didn't even watch the second half of the game. I knew it was going to – actually, they come back for a little bit.
They came back.
The third quarter was when they made
and then
their
Jalen Williams, shout out. 40 ball.
Yeah.
He's so good.
Obviously, SGA with 30-something.
I've been a hater of him, but he's balling.
He is balling. He's going to probably win Finals MVP.
Yeah, Tyrese Halliburton had a
minus
-13 rating last night.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, like, if you're, like, being gritty and playing through injuries means that you played well. Like, nobody cares if you played through an injury if you throw up zeros. Like, you shouldn't be playing. If you're 0 for 10, obviously the injury is not something you can play through, and you should sit down.
We definitely got the floor to find out, and I think they found out.
Yeah, I think they found out after the first half.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was reported earlier in the series he was dealing with this injury too. So it has been something that's been like a little lingering.
You know, Cade Cunningham and Tyrese Halliburton have the same amount of career field goals made in Game 5s of the NBA Finals.
Is that what this is for you?
No, it's just I don't think people like, oh, he was hurt, so it's fine that he had 0 field goals made. No. If that's going to impact your game that bad, then you shouldn't be playing.
I'm not shitting on him as if he was like healthy and just like choked it all away, you know?
It's a little bit of both. If you're playing, you're playing. And if you're playing, there's no excuse to go over.
I hear you. He's not above criticism because of the injury, but I think context matters. So like I thought about trolling Flannel last night because I watched the game and then went straight to bed and I saw Flannel's text in the group chat and I wanted to just put like he hurt his hamstring and then roll over and go to sleep because Flannel was pretty.
I was going to. I didn't have the energy for it.
Yeah, I do. If I did that, I was gonna like stay engaged. But yeah, no, it sucks, man. Because look, everybody thought this finals was gonna be like a terrible, boring finals, and it's been good. It's been a really good basketball finals to watch. Like I've enjoyed this. I'm excited. The extra day between games will help him for sure. And, I think he'll probably play game 6, but I think we'll see what his level is. But I think he'll play. I think they'll give him some, muscle X's, whatever they need to do to get him right. But
it can't get worse than last night.
Yep.
So I mean,
that's what I'm saying. Would you
unless he died,
want to play him after last night? I mean,
yes.
He still had 6 assists, I guess. But
no, I get you. But you play him because one, TJ McConnell's probably not doing that again, unfortunately. And two, the fact is, like, you need every variable to go your way to win this series, and that's what Indiana has been, and that's what they've been doing. So, I do think this series has been overwhelmingly OKC, despite it being 3-2. It's just Indy has had these games where everything went right for them, and that's a credit to them. I'm not knocking them or calling it luck, but I think you just need every variable right if you're Indiana when you're going against the talent gap that is OKC.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. And now the series pretty much. I mean, sucks they lost the game previously.
Are they
got 7 out of it?
Are they gonna outlast the Oilers though?
No. They're both gonna die.
Yep.
Well, I mean, technically they could if the Oilers die tonight.
They're both gonna die tonight.
Yeah, that's true. That's fair. Yeah, what's up with that, Speedy? Give us the update on that one.
5-1 Panthers tonight. They're McDavid also dealing with an injury. Then Panthers are just too good, man. They're too good. They're too nasty. They're aggressive. You got the miracle win out of them. But yeah, I think Red Wings legend Calvin Pickard is gonna get. He's gonna get some goals thrown at him tonight. Yeah, give me Florida 5-1.
Yeah, I gotta ask you: is their goalie just that good? Because early on in the series, I know it was pretty even shots on goal, and then I know the last couple games, I feel like it's leaned Florida. I'd have to double check that, but I feel like every time I've looked, Florida's had more shots on goal the last couple games. But for the most part, Florida has way more goals in this series, and that's been. I feel like it's got to be the goalie, right?
Bob was an elite goalie at one point in his career. He's older now, so he's not what he used to be, but he's still much better than Pickard or Skinner.
Yeah.
So, it's normally who has the better goalie wins.
Yeah.
But also Florida is this is one of the best teams I've ever seen in the salary cap era, ever assembled. They're insane.
Better than that Lightning team?
Yeah, I think so. I think they beat the Lightning. It's one of those two. Yeah.
You and Vasilevsky?
Yep.
Man.
I think the pressure that they put on you is just insane. And, not even just all of the top-line guys that we talk about, but, Listerainen, Verhaeghe, these guys are just dogs, man. And they're pressuring Edmonton so hard in their defensive zone that they're just turning pucks over. There's, a 40-second period in the last game where they couldn't get it out of the neutral zone because Florida was just demolishing people. They're a really fun team to watch.
So if I were to tell you,
what if I told
the
you?
the line for Game 7's at 0.5, you're taking the under, Spencer? Between the two?
Yeah. Oh, the line for Game 7's played is
Yeah.
at 0.5. Yeah, I would take the under.
Yeah.
I'm taking the over, man. I still think Indy gets it at home. They're really, really good at home. Or I could see the Oilers just eking one out, and then I agree though the Panthers and the OKC are going to win, but I just feel like one of them is gonna get that win to force Game 7.
Shout out to Ryan with the for the Allen Robinson graphics. It's fucking
Shout out Ryan.
did his thing. I had one that I wanted to wait till Birdie was here.
Yeah, we got wait. He took notes and everything. Okay. He's got stuff to say.
All right.
What,
I guess. Huh?
You think it's crazy?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
I don't.
On the list.
I think it's pretty fair.
I also think a lot of that's overrated. The whole narrative. The narrative. It's there. LeBron, the bagless king.
Yeah.
Does it fucking matter? He's one of the best players to ever play the game.
Dude, he literally.
It's such an overrated this generation thing. It's aura. I guess.
No, it's just do you like run and dunk, man, or do you like?
Don't like one of the greatest basketball players of all time.
Yeah.
Or
you know what I'm saying?
I prefer watching Kyrie Irving play basketball than LeBron James.
Yeah, that's fine.
I think it's more exciting to watch.
I don't know.
I prefer watching Kobe Bryant play basketball to LeBron James. I think it's more, but LeBron's better than both of them. Yeah. Like, I'm not saying he's not. He's a better all-around player for sure. But
who was that guy in the Bulls he jumped over for the alley-oop?
John Lucas.
John Lucas.
John Lucas the third. Yep.
How did that guy look my height? He looks so.
Yeah, he's short. Giannis jumped over Tim Hardaway Jr.
Dude, and then said
Tim Hardaway Jr. is like 6'4".
He said after that, he said, like, walk me through that play. He goes, I didn't see him.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think the whole bag stuff is a little bit overrated. But I guess if you're talking about entertainment
style of play, it's like Giannis bagless, LeBron bagless.
LeBron's got the one.
The one where he looks at it and then does the step back. That's like that's his only bag. Like, that's all he got.
Like the memes, that shit's so funny. Like when I slide her DMs with the.
It works every time.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not. You could be the bagless king. He's still one of the best players ever to do.
For sure. Nobody's denying that. Just don't got a bag. And that's fine. It's like aura, same thing.
Let's go to break a little bit early then.
I think LeBron lacks a little aura too, if I'm being honest, for a GOAT.
He didn't until he's got coming. Like, he's more vocal.
He's got dad aura.
Literally call him the king. I feel like LeBron has aura.
Yeah, he's got aura.
Well, Miami LeBron was definitely the height of his aura because that shit was scary.
He was 0 dark 30. That shit was crazy.
He was like 290, dude. He was huge.
Then in Cleveland, he was baking cookies and leaving Kevin Love's face out of it.
Yeah, he sold out to somebody. But he turned super dad. Now he's got dad aura.
Yeah.
That's probably what it was.
Won a couple championships.
Yeah, I'm not saying auraless. I'm not saying he's Riley Green, but I'm saying like he's just for a GOAT. I feel like he lacks more aura.
Nowhere near the aura of Kobe or Jordan.
Yeah.
Even Anthony Edwards.
Even Anthony Edwards has aura for sure.
The truth? Yeah.
Does
he got aura. He
the truth?
Isn't that Paul Pierce's?
Paul Pierce is the truth.
Pierce?
Yeah.
Is that you talking about?
No. He said to Obama, "I'm the truth."
Oh yeah, that's true. He was talking shit to Obama.
Yeah. You don't get much aura.
If Obama was talking about playing with basketball, what the hell? I think I watched that clip. It wasn't that bad. Was he talking about just like playing the other guys in the USA team or something?
Oh yeah, he just said
it was not crazy.
No, he said he'd give all these guys buckets, and he would.
Yeah, I don't know why that was like a.
That's just Obama. Oh, just old heads being old heads. Oh, LeBron, you better get your boy here.
Yeah.
That's an amazing impression.
Thank you.
That's a great Obama.
Oh, LeBron. This kid's talking pretty crazy.
I was gonna ask the Heat LeBron. Is that the super team effect? Because we saw it with KD too.
No.
When KD was the Warriors, he's playing defense and shit too.
Oh yeah, I mean it definitely helps.
Scariest version of it. But
it was also
he had other things to alleviate them on the offensive side.
He was playing point guard and center. Like he was like I said, that was the biggest. He was probably like 280, 275, 280. And the year after they lost to the Mavs, that shit was nuts.
Remember his headband fell off? He went fucking crazy.
Yeah. The block on Thiago Splitter, that shit was, dude.
I was just thinking about that too, like poor Thiago.
That was nuts.
Yeah.
That's a 7 foot, 300 pound dude. Full extension, top of the key, wide open, and LeBron just off vert. Dude, that was an insane block. His second best block of his career.
Yeah. I'm mad that he took the block. He took the block from Tayshaun because like we had that. It was the block.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, his was the finals, so it's like
it means more.
I'm not arguing.
Like the SEC, it just means more.
Yeah, I literally hated LeBron. I still kind of did in a sense when he went for that 25 straight against the Pistons. I took my hat off. I was like,
yeah, I mean,
he's
pretty fucking good, dude.
Yeah, I was like, he's all right.
Dude, I was like a kid. I didn't understand. I was like, can we just stop him? Like, I'm just sitting there like yelling.
Nope.
Even my grandma was yelling at the fucking TV.
Can't stop him.
Laying down rose petals for him to go down the lane. No, he's fucking dominant. Varys, heavyweight talking b-ball, like nails on a chalkboard. Varys, you don't know basketball at all. Like, I've read your takes.
Yep.
They're consistently bad. That's why I do this and you don't. No offense.
It's true.
I love you. Appreciate being here, though, but come on.
That's why you don't put your name to any of your takes and you have a fake picture. Because you obviously...
Damn.
Like,
calm down. Relax.
I'm just saying.
And you get no bitch. No.
And yeah. And you're ugly as fuck. But appreciate you, Varys. That's why you got no dick, Varys.
Tell us about Platte Fitness.
It's true, Varys, known eunuch. I know one Varys, and he is a eunuch. So, you're not even the master of whispers. You just ain't got no dick. Let me tell you guys about Platte Fitness. Planet Fitness, the home, the judgment-free zone where everybody can get a full body workout in 30 minutes, and all memberships include fitness training. You get all that for just $15 a month. You can upgrade to the Black Card, get use to amenities like hydro massage, total body enhancement, and access to over 2,500 locations worldwide. Join in club or online at planetfitness.com. Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You know, you guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
I think you won. We got Tully, everybody. This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
Shout out to Massage Chair House for dropping off the Pharaoh, the $14,000 massage chair used by professional athletes, and you could join that crew as well. Scan the QR code above my head or visit massagechairhouse.com or visit them in person at the corner of Woodward and Long Lake Road in Bloomfield Hills, where my guy Dr. Eric Duncan will hook you up with the best massage chair for your needs. Visit massagechairhouse.com and check out my guy Dr. Eric Duncan on YouTube, the #1 massage chair review channel on the internet.
Shout out.
Bonjour, what up, though? Welcome back to the Woodward Heavyweights. I am Easy, joined by Spinmore Rex.
Oh,
Young Chris, no Nicholas Kohloff. We got Skywalker in the building. Chris, I did send something in Slack.
If you I got it.
Because this is quite interesting. It kind of ties in like where I want to go with this thing. Speaking of my guy DS in the Woodward Sports Chat, I pay up to $367 for not knowing ball. MVP odds drop for our very own.
wow. Not even on the list?
Not even on the list, Jared Goff.
See, but why is Jordan Love on there?
We got to change the MVP to just quarterback. The best quarterback.
But I shit like quarterback.
That's insane. No, you can take us off. They got to see this.
Yeah.
Because at the bottom left hand,
I don't understand. How is Jordan Love on this list every year? He was on it last year, too.
He's on
but last year
Easy does the list.
You get so many
I do.
This is Easy's list.
I actually work for the sports books. Yes. No, listen. Healthy Jordan Love is better than what you saw last year. I think we all can admit that. I don't. Everyone pretends like
so. The Halliburton
had a bad
defense.
year.
You're using the Halliburton defense, huh?
But I MVP ask. I mean, that's still kind of. I mean, can you pull up the schedule?
There's
Somebody
no
pull up
way.
the Green Bay
There's
Packers
no way
schedule?
Jordan Love should have better odds than Jared Goff.
Because I just know the NFC North as a division is going through the ringer, pretty much all teams.
Yeah, they're playing the same
they gotta
teams we
see us
are.
twice.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So why is he higher than Goff? Like
Goff's not even fucking there.
Let's see. Lions, Commanders, Browns, Cowboys, Bengals, Cardinals,
Lions.
Steelers,
Okay, they actually got pretty.
Panthers, L. They're definitely losing the Panthers. Eagles, Giants. Yeah, see, they play.
So they actually do got kind of a cake.
Yeah, they play the Panthers.
Wow.
And
Because they finished.
I mean, it's the same schedule pretty much, except they play the Panthers and the Broncos, and we play the Chiefs and
Broncos won't be a
the
joke.
Bucks.
That is tougher.
It's literally the same schedule, just those two.
Sounds pretty cake.
I
Commanders.
remember we looked at our schedule and we looked at the entire second half of it, and we were like, "Oh, okay, it's really not that bad. It's just the first 7 weeks are fucking tough." Yeah, but the last 8 weeks of the season is like you should win all of them. So
Yeah, if this is my list, Trevor Lawrence would be on that.
For sure.
That's true.
Says Phil. You goddamn right. Yeah, I mean, listen, I guess it's kind of like
I'm surprised there isn't a Lion on there.
the way for MVP, it's always quarterbacks. We got one quarterback.
Quarterback.
Could have
put
I guess the
Gibbs
way
on
to
there.
articulate it is the way we were talking about De La Cruz. Like, he's got the sauce with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, Jordan Love does make those fucking crazy throws. He does run a little bit. Where our guys kind of just running the system.
He's a bitch, though, dude.
Does he, though? I mean,
But you also...
I've never seen Jordan Love come up in a clutch situation.
Nah. I can't think of any either.
Under 4,000 yards, 25 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. MVP numbers.
Everybody outside of maybe Brock Purdy got a little sauce for the game. You know what I'm saying?
Brock Purdy's got white boy sauce. He's got some Alfredo sauce.
Yeah. I would call it Alfredo.
I mean, it's white sauce.
Cajo de Pepe.
All right.
Maybe.
All right, so then whose odds do you like the best?
Cajo de Pepe.
Whose odds do you like the best?
I don't know their schedules.
Yeah.
To be fair. But probably Lamar.
I kind of like...
I kind of like Joe
man.
Burr.
I know.
Burrow got robbed.
He did. Well, I mean, what's robbed? Because he didn't make the playoffs. You can't give that guy MVP.
But he had the best quarterback season out of any quarterback.
Yeah,
His
he did.
Defense is
His
shit.
defense
By
was
far.
awful.
Yeah.
Like, and
Guys
some
are
of it
the
too, you could be like, yo, well, he had to pass that much because they were down. True, but he also had efficient numbers too.
Yeah.
He did
Like,
it.
I think he threw. What was the completion percentage?
I don't know,
about to
but
pull that
he
bad boy up.
had an
60s,
insane... He had
It
an
was.
insane
I think it
year.
might have been better or like on par with Goff's.
Mahomes. People say Mahomes MVP. Yeah.
Mahomes getting Rashee Rice back. Him and Worthy. That's
And Worthy, another year Worthy.
That could be dangerous.
Yeah, Joe Burrow's. This is Joe Burrow's season last year. 4,918 yards, so damn near 5,000 yards. 43 touchdowns, only 9 interceptions,
God.
70% completion percentage.
Damn.
Who's the best quarterback?
But they finished 9-8.
Running this shit like quarterback.
That's
But
nuts.
easy marginalizes him as a player.
That's
yeah,
true.
according to some. Neil does marginalize Joe Burrow, though.
Does he really?
Yeah, what?
Oh, yeah. He's the one. No, that...
No, he's talking shit on Joe B. Because remember, that's Flannel Sam bashed his head
No,
over.
that was Josh Allen. That's what I was about to say.
Was that Josh Allen?
Yeah, I was about to say
it's
he
Josh
made
Allen
Flannel
that he
bash
hates.
his head, but that was Josh Allen.
I thought it was Joe B because Neil was like, well, they're still losing. And it's like, look at his fucking numbers. Clearly, it's not this guy's fault. They're fucking losing games.
Yeah.
Like, if this was like a 4,918-yard season with 42 touchdowns and he had like 60% completion, sure, that's probably on him a little bit. 70% completion? With only 9 interceptions? He's not turning the ball over.
Yeah.
That's insane.
I want to see what these odds are.
I guess it could be Joe B.
I feel like Saquon should be up on that list too.
That's
Like,
what I'm
just to
saying. Just
have
make it the
someone that's
quarterback
not a
award. You're going to
quarterback.
disrespect this guy like that.
No
Him,
way,
Jamar
dude.
Chase, like just anybody.
What? What?
Jared Goff's odds to win MVP are plus 2,800.
It's the same as Brock Purdy.
And,
So technically he'd be tied.
yeah.
So he'd make the list.
See how you crop the graphic?
Well,
I ain't cropped no graphic. You cropped the graphic.
this is a different site then.
Okay.
Okay, what is this, MGM?
Yeah, it looks like MGM. Or Caesars. I just saw it and I was kind of just blown away. No respect, but also I mean,
This has Kyler Murray and Jordan Love both at plus 2,500.
Wow, okay, Kyler Murray, that's disrespectful.
This is the second.
That's insane.
That's why I draw the line.
Jared Goff at plus 2,800 with Baker Mayfield and Caleb Williams.
Okay, would you have him in your top 10? Straight up, right now. Like you're
Jared Goff?
You're putting money on 10 guys. Does he make that list?
Yes.
With this schedule?
Yes.
No way. No chance of it.
I think
Not happening.
Yeah,
I think
not
the,
fucking
I think the
He would
Lions
not be the
in
one
your
to
top
know.
10. No, I think the Lions are going to be a team that wins 13 games next year,
Oh.
which is what I've said the whole time. Which is what you said as well. You picked 13 wins for them.
I remember.
There's not going to be 10 better teams than the Lions this year. So yeah, the quarterback for one of the best teams in the NFL probably going to be top 10 in MVP contention.
Yeah, probably not. Not a chance.
10
Yeah, I'd put money
players
on
right
10
now
guys.
that you think are going to rank higher than Jared Goff in MVP or 9.
I would
yeah,
take
10. That you think are going to be higher than Jared Goff in MVP votes next year.
I'd probably take all these guys minus one and replace with Saquon.
You would take Jordan Love right now over Jared Goff for MVP vote?
Of course he would.
That's probably one I would replace with Saquon.
I feel like
I don't know what their record's going to be.
So
I feel
even
like
Brock
record
Purdy
shouldn't be in contention for MVP because, like,
Well, you got to have a good team.
well, yeah, I understand that, and it's to an extent, but like, Jared Goff had like a great season, but he had a 5-pick game.
You
Like,
can pull it to
Yeah.
close. Yeah,
he had
there
a
you go.
5-pick game. Like, you can't throw 5 interceptions in a game or, screw up in the playoffs.
But if you only have
a good
11
record.
interceptions in the season, or how many did he have? He had like 14 interceptions on the season.
Yeah.
I don't know if one game
Get
would
12.
take you out of top 10.
Yeah,
Like I
guess
said,
that's
10 is, I can't see.
I think MVP, too, you're looking for a guy that's like Josh Allen guy because he carried.
Yeah, for sure.
Goff has never seen that. He's not that kind of guy. He's still a good quarterback, very good quarterback. But he's not going to carry anybody the way Josh Allen, Lamar. I mean, I would even say Jordan Love would be. He shouldn't be. He's not a carrier at all either.
So
I
this
think
list
Daniels
has
carries, Joe Burrows carries, Mahomes carries. Herbert not so much anymore with Jim there.
At plus 20, it's got Jalen Hurts at plus 1,600. It's got Herbert at 22, Stroud, Murray, and Love at 25, Caleb, Baker, and Goff at 28, Dak, Brock Purdy, and Bo Nix at 35, and then Tua, Saquon, Stafford at 40.
I guess I guess it's the Bucks as a team, but the Baker disrespect.
Yeah, I'd put Baker a little higher too.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'd probably replace Baker with Love in this situation. Like
Easily.
looked phenomenal last year.
Yeah.
I think he might have had.
I mean,
I
but-
think he finished top 5 last year in MVP vote, didn't he? Or was
No,
he?
he didn't.
He didn't.
He should have, but he didn't.
Doughboy Steve said Easy just hates white people.
Yeah, Josh Allen's my favorite quarterback.
Well, I got some bad news for you.
Don't tell me he's white. Disgusting. Baker Mayfield last year, 4,500 yards, 41 touchdowns, 16 interceptions. So that's probably why he didn't make or break.
And he had a
top
bunch of fumbles, too.
five. Yeah, 71% completion. Wow, 16 interceptions with 71%. He's a
He
risk
also
taker,
got
though.
his top 2 receivers.
And that was the part where I was like, holy shit,
Yeah.
this guy's balling out of his mind.
Yeah.
He lost Mike Evans and Chris Godwin and was doing it with fucking Jordan Palmer. Or who was the rookie they had?
JT Olson says
Random
Bucks
song.
are always overlooked. JT Olson also told us the Bucks were top 3 in the NFC last year. So are they overlooked or are they a top 3 team in the NFC, JT Olson?
That's fair.
I think that's what they're. That's why
Who was
his
the
odds
3
are
seed
low.
last year? Was it the Bucks?
It was
I wonder if he's right. If he's right.
no, it was the well, they weren't a top 3 team in the NFC.
Like the Vikings?
Vikings
Well,
Vikings were better.
but in terms of seeds,
Right? Because it was
Yeah,
Lions,
because their
Eagles.
division was trash.
Oh no, I'm looking at a whole nother year. Or this is like not a up to date one or some shit. I think there might have been 3 seed. Either way, we do have to go to break. Come back. We'll find that out for you guys. When we get back,
They were the 3 seed behind us and the Eagles.
shout out to
At-
JTOs.
At 10-7, and there were 3 teams with better records than them in the NFC. So they were not a top 3 team in the NFC. They're the 3 seed because they play in a garbage poop division, and they're the best of the garbage poop.
All right.
I don't think they're garbage poop.
I don't think they're a top 3 team in the NFC.
Not anymore.
I don't think they were last year either.
Last year they were a 3 seed. But
Yeah,
we're
but there
gonna
were 3
break.
teams with better records than them.
Tell us about Feldman Chevrolet.
Feldman Chevrolet. That is Luke. Tell us about Feldman Chevrolet.
Feldman Chevrolet is Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer with 5 locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing. This month's special include leasing a 2025 Silverado 1500 Crew for $149 per month and a 2026 Equinox LT for $209 per month. Again, that's Feldman Chevrolet.
The boys of summer are here, and Woodward Sports is all over the Motor City with the White Claw Tigers Tour. Come party with Woodward Sports, watch the Tigers, and sip on some White Claw all summer long. The best bars, big giveaways, live events, and a party that only Woodward Sports can throw. Ain't no party like a Woodward Sports party. Join us Friday, June 29th at the Old Miami in Detroit for the White Claw Tigers Tour, brought to you by White Claw, Easttown, and Ben Johnson.
Hey, it's Stick from Woodward Sports. I'm out here at the Feldman shop, of course, you know, because they are #1 people. And the Ineos Grenadier, that's a new car that they got. But I got my man here, the Sun God. I'm not lying. His name is Amon-Ra.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He sold me a car.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's up? Come see us out here, baby. We in Waterford. We got the pre-owns all day. We got the Grenadiers, and we got new Chevys all day. Whatever you need, we got you.
Yeah, and I went with this one. I like it. 2023 Durango. It's used. Only got like 30,000 miles on it. And this guy, man, I was like, listen, this is my price. You either make it happen or I'm out of here.
Easy.
You know what he did? Went to his boss. He's like, I'm making this happen for this guy. Came back, threw the contract on the table. Now I'm in the whip.
Yes, sir. Sign, drive, 0 down, easy money all day.
All right, Feldman, what's the address here, do you know?
5300 Highland Road, Waterford, Michigan, 48327. Open until 6 o'clock every weekday except 9 o'clock on Mondays and Thursdays. It's 4 o'clock on Saturdays. Only day we're not here for you is Sunday. Every other day we're here to get it done, baby.
And his legit name is Amon-Ra. I'm not lying. It was
Yes, sir.
destined. It was meant to be. Woodward Sports found this guy. So
Exactly.
thank you very much, man. Enjoying the car, and the kid likes it too. It's nice and safe.
Detroit has the best sports fans in the world. That's why they deserve the best sports coverage in the world. We are the Woodward Sports Network.
Jars, cannabis guys, top shelf quality, unmatched variety price for you. The people find one near you, one of 27 locations across the great state of Michigan by visiting shopjars.com. Find their best deals at jars_life. And if you're Madison Heights, Milan, or Grand Rapids, just know there's a Jars Cannabis company coming to you. Dude, check it out.
Crazy looking dude.
Crazy looking dude. I think I told you guys this story, either on air or off air. When I worked at the dealership, we had this guy first of all, he rode in on like a singular wheel, like little motorcycle thing. Drove up to the car dealership. I don't know what
like a unicycle, a motorized unicycle.
Yeah, it was. I gotta look it up. What
was called. It like a one wheel where you stand on it?
No, dude, he was squatting on that bitch. Maybe he was riding it wrong. I don't know.
Did it have a handle?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not a one wheel.
But either way, yeah, it's on that bitch.
Like a Segway?
I gotta find. I'll find.
Segways have two wheels, though. Yeah.
This guy comes out. He's like tweaking, like talking to himself, and we're like, "Yo,
sell him a
might
car?
have to call the cops." Like this guy's tweaking. Like he's tripping.
Turns out he was the owner of the dealership.
Turns out
Undercover
he was
boss.
a fucking millionaire.
No way.
Yeah, and he bought a vintage Bronco, which is one of the more expensive ones. You ever see like a light blue or like light?
I would have made that sale.
Oh, dude, my boy Darren did, and like. He was like, I don't know if I should sell him the car. Like he's saying he has like the cash. I mean, and obviously you're thinking like, this guy's on drugs.
Yeah,
he doesn't have fucking $75,000 cash to buy a car right now. He's tripping. No, he had the cash.
He had $75 grand cash.
$75,000
on a unicycle. Where did he?
Rode right through on a fucking like little unicycle. Hair was disheveled. He was talking to himself. He turns out.
What was his name?
He's from Ann Arbor. He went to Michigan. They started like some band. I forget what it's called. It's like a weird little alternative band, I guess you'd say, and they did really well. They had one song that blew up really well. They called Mr. Banana, I think it was called.
Mr. Banana?
Yeah, I think it's called Mr. Banana. And then he wrote music for Disney prior for a children's show, so he had like just tons of royalties. But he had a really bad trip on.
Alex Orion, is that the band?
Yes, they all like wearing ties and shit.
Or Mr. Banana looks like a.
I'll look it up. Take over real quick. I'll find it. Famous band from the University of Michigan.
Harry Belafonte? I don't know.
That sounds like something you just made up.
Oh, that's the Deo. That's the Banana Boat song.
I don't know. I'll find it for you, though. Yeah. Blew my mind. Also blow my mind. Cartier made a valid point for once in his life. All these built-in... I forgot. I can't find the comment.
Well,
but pretty much all these built-in excuses for Jared Goff to not have a great season. No Ben Johnson, no Ragnow, no. I mean, young offensive line, injured guys on defense to start the season. If he does go out there and they do win those 13 games, then yeah, I could see him breaking the top 10 for sure. It's just a tough schedule thrown there too.
Yeah,
I mean, you kind of would have to give it to him at that point.
No, that's why
in the top 10.
It's still like, I don't think anybody doesn't think the Lions are going to win the division. So at the very least, you're a division winner. So you got to have at least 11 wins, right? Unless you're the Buccaneers. Yeah, but
shots fired.
I don't know. I feel like he's got to be. I still expect this Lions team to win at least 12 games, and the quarterback of a 12-win season, 12-win team, is probably going to be top 10 in MVP voting.
Easily. I don't see how the Lions could be one of the 5 or 6 best teams in the NFL in terms of record, and Goff not be represented in the top 10.
I agree.
Like I don't see the path for him personally. But I get you. Like I would put money on him to actually win it. I just feel like for him, his odds should be better based off of where the Lions will probably be.
Sorry, Chris.
No, you're good.
Say it one more time.
I was just saying, based off where this team will probably be, I think his odds should be higher. I wouldn't bet on Goff to win the award, but I'm saying his odds should be better based off of where this Lions team is realistically projected to finish.
Ruler of Everything is the song.
Is that the one?
I think so. I don't know. I've never heard of them.
Yeah, I mean, they were like kind of like an alternative thing. Kind of more. Well, I guess they made a bunch of music, and the TikTok trend like picked them back up.
Damn.
And like relevant again. That one song obviously got
shout
the
out China.
Disney. Yeah, shout out to China for real.
China.
They did that for a guy from here too. Remember Polo Frost? Were you working here when he came through?
Yeah.
Yeah. TikTok made him. All right, I'm going to spin this conversation a little bit until we get our guy, Allen Robinson, join the show in here. And that's the NFC North position rankings. I kind of wanted to do this day by day if we could. Drag it out a little bit because it is summertime.
Yeah.
So like
summertime.
What position would you like to start with? 'Cause I obviously wrote down quarterback, but we don't gotta do that yet.
Shit like quarterback.
Quarterback.
I think we got to do quarterback first, right?
Yeah, we just talked about him.
There's one correct ranking for quarterback.
What is it?
It like from worst to best, NFC North. It's McCarthy, Williams, Love, Goff. We haven't seen McCarthy play a single snap of like actual regular season football. You know?
Yeah. I agree 100%. I think that's what the ratings has to be. It's got to be Goff 1, Love 2, Caleb 3, and then McCarthy 4.
Yeah.
But easy. I know yours aren't that way.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna throw away like what I would do. Gotta give Goff his credit for last year. Goff's number 1.
But you already said. You said already, literally today.
What?
Didn't you say that Jordan Love is better? Still, you still think that?
I think it's a better skill set, yes.
But not a better quarterback.
No, right now. I mean, last year we saw. I mean, you gotta give Jared Goff credit for what he did last year.
Okay.
I think if you're building a franchise, you're probably taking Jordan Love, like a general manager would. But based off the resume, coming off of just last year, I gotta give JG the credit, man. He's number 1 right now in the NFC North.
Okay.
Yet to be the
okay.
All right. I think everybody can live with that.
Yeah. I keep it real. I always keep it a buck. Oh, is this my? Go ahead,
Chris. Do you have any other rank? I don't think
No, I don't think you can right now today rank it. What would be Spencer the? I think everybody would have him Goff 1, but that next 3, I could see that totally flipping throughout this year. What would be kind of the order that you could see happening?
I could see it being Goff 1, Caleb 2.
Mm-hmm. Could you see McCarthy better than Love?
That's what I was gonna say. Maybe JJ 3, but probably not. I'm not it with Jordan Love. I think we know what Jordan Love is, and like I said, like you said, I've never really seen him show up at a big point or really show that he's this elite level quarterback. But I don't think we're going to see that out of J.J. McCarthy either. But then again,
he has Justin Jefferson.
Kevin O'Connell turned Sam Darnold into a upper echelon starting quarterback. So is it crazy to say he could do that with J.J. McCarthy in year 1? Maybe not. Yeah. But I don't know. I'm not going to say that yet. I'll say the most realistic I could see if there's going to be a change-up would be Caleb Williams jumping Jordan Love. Yeah. And I could very realistically see that happening.
That's exactly where I'm at. I can't go to McCarthy yet, but I don't know, man, that last season of the Vikings just like pissed me off and also kind of like, I wouldn't say scared me because that's too strong of a word, but definitely made me think about the about the potential of just them plugging and playing a quarterback. Skywalker, what about you? Could you see Love being the worst quarterback in the NFC North?
I don't think he'll be worse than JJ, but I do think that there is a good chance Caleb Williams could take over Jordan Love, simply because he's got new weapons. They drafted a bunch of good guys for him, and also like you got Ben Johnson now.
Yeah,
like that is exactly who you want to get for your offensive coordinator as a quarterback. You know, I mean, that's like number one option
for sure. And we got our guy Allen Robinson in here. We're gonna go to break real quick. We'll come back and we'll talk to Allen Robinson about everything that he's been with. It's going to be a great interview. But first, we got to go to break. Let me tell you about Loom real quick, because Loom Cannabis, whatever you need this summer, they've got you covered. Perfect for the golf course. The Buzzin' drinks, they're 7.5 milligrams per can. You can get all of that. Shop their whole selection at Loom.com. Make sure you use promo code WSN30 to get 30% off your order. It's Loom Cannabis.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Summer are ready to get back to the playoffs, and there's no better place to get your Tigers coverage than Woodward Sports. Join us all season long as we follow as our hometown Tigers claw and fight. This ball is gone. Boys are back in town. Feel the roar with Woodward Sports.
Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC has deals for everybody. You can scan that QR code on the screen and check out their massive inventory. They got a 2025 Envision Preferred all-wheel drive, $259 per month. 2025 Hummer EV SUV, $699 per month. Or the 2025 Sierra Double Cab Elevation, just $169 per month. Let's Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC. Let's Stanford together. Let's drive.
What up, though? Welcome back to World Heavyweights Live on WoodsportsCom. I'm joined by Spimo Raxter.
What up, though?
Chris, Luke Skywalker in the building. But we're also joined by Pro Bowl wide receiver, just coming through doing services for his hometown team, Allen Robinson.
What's good, man?
What up, man?
What up, though?
I appreciate you taking the time to stop by, man.
Appreciate y'all having me.
Sorry about the You situate his mic. I appreciate
go
you.
Ahead and go.
This chair comfortable though.
Yeah, it's sweet.
I gotta say, man. So I didn't follow you collegiately, but the first time I got put on was 2015. You guys came to Detroit, and I'm thinking, oh, it's Jacksonville. It's about to be easy dub. Next thing you know, I see my man in the end zone hitting the money down.
Y'all still beat us though, but I had a couple good games here in Detroit. When I got to Chicago, we won a little bit more, but in Jacksonville, I think we played here once.
What's your favorite game you ever had professionally?
We lost, but it was in Jacksonville. We played against Tennessee. It was the season. It was my first time going for over 1,000 yards. I needed 70 yards in that game to go for 1,000, and I think I had 10 for 163 and 3 touchdowns.
Damn.
I did follow you collegiately. I'm a Michigan State grad, so,
I hate Michigan State.
I hate Penn State so much, dude.
I just was telling one of my buddies, he had said that he was going to, I think Michigan State plays Arkansas basketball coming up this fall, and he said he was going up there, and I was like, bro, I can't support nothing Michigan State.
Did they offer you coming out?
They did. They wanted me to play corner.
Oh.
So they're the only team in the Big Ten that I didn't get a chance to play against when I was in college. And them in Michigan was number 1 and 1B on my list of teams to play. So I got to play against Michigan, but I never got to play against Michigan State.
Did you play them in the Big House?
I did not. I wanted to play them in the Big House. Yeah. They came to State College and we won a 4 overtimes. Pretty crazy game, but I did want to play them in the Big House.
Yeah. And
did you do well?
I did. I caught the catch at the end of the game to kind of take us into overtime. But I had a good game, and we won it for overtime. Had a tip on a field goal block. So it was a
close game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's that. You came out after the sanctions? Or no, the sanctions were right when you got there.
Yeah, so sanctions happened. It all kind of went down. We were sanctioned my sophomore and junior year. So the sanctions came down going into my sophomore year.
What made you stay?
Bill O'Brien had just came in. He was coming from the NFL. He was coming from the New England Patriots that had just come off the Super Bowl run. They lost to the Giants. But with the staff that he was bringing in and with his football IQ, and I had just been named a starter that spring going into my sophomore year, and I knew I was going to get the rock.
Yeah.
So I'm like, man, you know what I'm saying? My goal always was to get to the league, and I thought that was still the perfect situation for me to be able to do that.
Yeah, especially you already put in that work at the gate, the starting spot.
Yeah, getting the starting spot, and then at the same time, our receiver coach, he had came from the Buffalo Bills. We had Bill O'Brien who came from New England. So we had NFL guys who kind of knew, and even then it's nobody who can speak to NFL players and NFL prospects more than a coach who's already been in the NFL.
Yeah.
So from him talking to us every day in meetings and then also throughout the draft process and stuff, the word that him and Coach Stan Hickson, my receiver coach, the weight that they had, held a lot.
I got to ask, man, just for the Lions fans in the chat, obviously you from Detroit, what went wrong in that playoff game from your perspective against the Commanders?
I tell everybody, to me, it felt like, based on the injuries, it felt like we were a team that was just kind of like, our grip slipped off of a cliff. That's what it kind of felt like. It was like, as we were getting injured and more people were getting injured, it was like we were just kind of losing grip, But as far as, like, personnel-wise, with a healthy team, I know a lot of people can try to say this, but I think last year, a healthy Detroit team, we win the Super Bowl. I mean, and again, that's easy to say sometimes, but as well as when you get into those kind of playoff games and situations when you're playing against a Jaden Daniels, you need everybody healthy. At the end of the day, if we had had Hutch healthy, if we had had some of the players in the secondary healthy, we had CD, he was hurt. Yeah. Some of our other linebackers, Liam was hurt. We had, so for us, when you have and when you're playing against those kind of calibers of players that deep into the playoffs, you need everybody. Granted, we had a team that had great depth, and I think that our depth held their own throughout the course of the year. But sometimes when you get into the playoffs, man, and injuries. I mean, look at the NBA playoffs. Halliburton is nursing a calf injury. Sure enough, last night they get beat pretty convincingly. So, when you get to this stage of the game and playoff sports, whether it's football, basketball, whatever, you need your guys healthy.
And looking at a guy that came back from injury for that playoff run for the Lions and Alex Anzalone, right now he's sitting out, because I think he's trying to get the contract to be the highest paid linebacker on the team. When you look at when he came back, what was kind of the vibe in the locker room? Like, he broke his arm, and the dude's already out there playing like a madman.
Yeah, and probably if it was left up to him, he would have came back a little bit sooner. But, for us, I think that just was the true testament of the guys that we had in our locker room. I think what makes it so cool is that, the secret sauce that I feel like the Lions management have is the character of guys that they bring into the room.
Yeah.
I think that across the board you have guys who want to be coached hard. You have guys where if it's a walkthrough and guys miss a protection or miss a route, a change or something like that, they want to see it again. They want to get the rep again. And when you have guys like that in a locker room like that, man, everybody across the board, wants to be out there and wants to be playing with their buddies.
You played for two great culture coaches in terms of Mike Tomlin and Dan Campbell. What were the, differences between those guys? Because obviously everyone kind of buys in. Mike Tomlin been holding it down over there for a very long time. Doesn't seem like he's going anywhere anytime soon. What were the differences between them? Because they're both great culturally, but obviously different personalities.
Yeah, they have a lot of similarities. And I would say, a lot of, I would say from difference-wise, it's actually pretty small. Their approach to the game each and every day with the players, is such highly detailed. And I think that's kind of how it is across the board. I think that Coach Tomlin, with what he's been given talent-wise and so on and so forth, he has a little bit more leeway. As far as personality-wise, I mean, he's coached AB, he's coached Le'Veon Bell, so he's coached some characters where he's had to change and mold a little bit.
Now.
Yeah, and even Ben Roethlisberger, so he's been able to coach some big personalities and being able to get so much out of those guys. Whether it's the Pouncey brothers as well, he's been able to create a culture where you bring guys in and allow them to be themselves. Rather than a little bit different than Detroit and the culture that they have is a little bit different on that front.
And
who wins that fight?
Oh,
who wins that fight? Mike Tomlin or Dan Campbell?
Dan's a big dude. I'm not gonna lie. You don't really know how big Dan is until you kind of meet him in person. for me, meeting him for the first time, I'm like, damn, man, Dan's a big dude. I said, listen, man, Coach Tomlin's my guy, so I can't count him out. I just say Dan is a big dude.
That's fair. And you've also caught passes from two very high-profile quarterbacks from this city. Like, as much as I want to talk about Blake Bortles, because I'm a big Blake Bortles fan, Stafford and Goff. Obviously, everybody loved. They're chanting his name at games now all over the city. Matt Stafford, he's the guy, the turncoat, the guy who left and went and won a Super Bowl somewhere else, but was the prodigal son in Detroit for a long time. What are the differences between those two, playing with them, how they command a room and stuff like that?
Yeah, again, those two guys are very similar. And I think that when you're drafted as high as those guys and approach the game as professional as those guys do, it's a lot of similarities. But when it comes to overall, man, Stafford is a dude, man. He can throw the ball with his eyes closed, and he chooses to throw the ball with his eyes closed sometimes. I remember being in training camp. We're in the red zone, and he's looking the total opposite way, and kind of gives me a nasty no look. I think JG is a humble guy. He don't really care about cool points. He's just gonna get it done. You know what I'm saying? If he gotta look at you, whatever the case may be. So I mean, that's a little bit of a difference. But as far as both of them, man, two great quarterbacks.
I also want to ask, man, Ben Johnson dipped out. What was some of the I guess, locker room reaction to that one?
I think it was one of those things where, for me, again, I was only here for a year, but even as the year was kind of progressing, it just kind of felt, you knew that was kind of coming from a staff standpoint, that AG and Ben will probably, get jobs. You kind of knew that, so as we were kind of going down the stretch of the season, it was kind of like a last dance feel, if you will, a little bit. Again, those guys were very, very highly sought coaches, through the coaching process and coaching carousel. So you knew that they were going to get jobs, so it was inevitable. I know that some people, Ben went to Chicago, which again, man, I'll say this. For anybody who has visited Chicago, if you were visiting any other cities, Chicago is very similar to Detroit. It's nice, so it's a hard city to turn down. So I definitely get and understand it, But again, I think everybody was happy for Ben. I think it's more so kind of like football banter, back and forth, between the rivalry between other division with Chicago and Detroit. But I think everybody for the most part was happy with Ben. A coach who not only deserved it but earned it. Day in and day out in the way that he coaches. And again, he's been doing that for years now.
How involved was you with how much of a detriment do you think that'll be to the Detroit Lions moving forward now?
Honestly, I think that when you have a person like Jared, I don't think it will hurt as much as maybe some other places. But I do think a big loss will be Frank Ragnow. Again, when you kind of put that in perspective, because again, I mean, when you lose players like that, that's like a coach on the field as well, as far as being able to help guys get to certain protections, being able to make certain calls and so on and so forth. So, but again, like I said before, what makes Detroit so cool and the culture that they have is, Dan is not going to let that slack up at all. No matter who comes in to fill in for Frank, to the new play caller and so on and so forth, as far as everybody getting acclimated to that, it's not going to be any excuses, any gray area for error. Dan is going to make sure he's on his P's and Q's.
And if anybody on that line, like the first game, Chicago, back in Detroit next year, if anybody on that Lions offense, is going to give Ben Johnson the cold shoulder, pregame, who would it be? Who do you think it would be?
Saint.
Yeah?
Saint. But it's going to be one of those things where, after the game, I'm sure they'll have a conversation, hug it up and stuff like that. But, Saint's definitely going to be eyeing over there on the sideline. Saint, and again, for me as a teammate, man, that's what you got to love about Saint, man, is the energy, the tenacity, everything that he brings into the game. I was actually talking to somebody on Twitter, and they were talking about, just top receiving cores. And, I don't think people give Saint enough credit with how much of a value it is with what he brings each and every snap, run game and pass game. Because you're able to match and marry those things up, so well. So Saint's definitely going to be the guy that may give him a little bit of a cold shoulder early on in the game. Being as hyped up as that game will be. And
going into next year, I got some really high expectations for Jameson Williams. I think if everything comes to happen, like Johnny Morton obviously did great things with guys like Robbie Anderson and Jermaine Kearse, and if he could use Jameson Williams to that level, I think he's got the talent to be first-team All-Pro level wide receiver. Is that too crazy? Or?
No, I don't think so at all. I think the biggest thing, and I say this all the time, when you have such a good offense, man, it's so many weapons on Detroit.
Yeah.
It's like, between having the best running back duo in the league, and then you have St. Brown out there, you have J-Mo out there, you got Sam out there, so at the end of the day, I think that certain accolades and stuff like that, when you have such a good offense, can be tough sometimes. I was actually, again, talking to somebody on X the other day. I'm on X talking football a lot. So
I see you.
they were talking about just kind of like receiving duos and stuff like that. But whenever you have a guy like J-Mo who can have in the range of 50 catches and still catch for over 1,000 yards, it's so much value in that because everybody else can also get their opportunities as well. You don't have to try to force feed J-Mo too much. He's going to get his. You can count on him. He almost averages an explosive play every time he touches the ball.
Yeah.
So when you have players like that, in such a good offense between Demo, between Ja, Sam, Saint,
it's
insane.
You have a lot of people to get the ball to, So again, when it comes to numbers, those things can always fluctuate on really good offenses.
And you've got a 90-yard receiving touchdown in your career, and you look at how much pressure is it on a guy to when you make the perfect move, you get the perfect release, you're blowing past the DB, and you're just waiting for the ball to drop in your arms. Is there pressure, or it's just business as usual?
It's business as usual. Again, for me, especially in that moment, as soon as I heard the play call come in, even kind of how it happened was we started at the 20-yard line. That was back when it was touchbacks to the 20.
Yeah.
So we started at the 20. We got it was a penalty that we had, I believe maybe a holding or something like that took us back 10 yards. And as soon as I heard the play call come in, I'm like, touchdown. Soon as I heard the play call come in, it was, I believe at the time, Brandon Browner, who was guarding me. I knew he was going to press me. We had a route that converted to a go if I got pressed. So I knew as soon as I heard the play call come in, I was probably going to get pressed. And the only thing that I had on my mind was scoring.
You practiced and played with one of the best in Jalen Ramsey. You had a great game. I just looked it up against Darrelle Revis.
Yeah.
Any similar traits in our guy Terry Arnold that we could be hopeful for or thankful for?
Yeah, again, I think it's always a learning curve a little bit at the cornerback position, especially seeing how much, man, he played last year.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think, man, for a guy like that, to be able to be in the fire like that, play a lot of man-to-man snaps in meaningful and pivotal games, I think that's going to help him out light years as far as a corner and his confidence coming into year two. There's not much that he hasn't seen in year one.
Yeah.
Again, when you're playing man-to-man situations in those big games on a team that every game matters, playing for the division, so on and so forth, and you have Jordan Addison, Justin Jefferson, different guys that you're having to see and play and match up with man-to-man, once year two goes, I think he'll really get into his groove. I think he can have be very similar to the style of player that Darius Slay was, as far as how he kind of got into his groove, and you really saw him take off as a player as well and have a long, good career.
How did you carve up Darrelle Revis like that?
It was the hardest 100-yard game I had in my career, man. He played me every single snap. If I was lined up at number 3, he was guarding me in the slot. Number 2, he was guarding me. If I was outside in a trips formation, he was guarding me. Backside 3x1, he was guarding me. So I got so many different looks in that game, from inch back press to hard jam, quick jam, faking quick jams, off man, you name it, inside leverage, outside leverage, I saw it. And for me, it was a whirlwind at first in the first quarter. I'm coming back to the sideline. I'm telling our coach, it was actually a play early in that game. We had like a one-step slant on a RPO. And going into the game, I told our coach, I said, do not call that. I've watched him enough. I see how he plays. One-step slants is not going to get Darrelle Revis turned enough to go. Soon as we ran that, I think it was either batted down or he picked it off, and I came back to the sideline. I was very frustrated. But my receiver coach, he's like, listen, just stay with it. So it was a battle. It was a duel, But again, I had a good game, man, and it was a big learning lesson for me, as far as being dominant at the line of scrimmage, And from that game forward, every time I lined up and pressed man, I was trying to make sure that I destroyed the defender across from me, and I really didn't, because he tries to make you react off him by giving you so many different looks. And my game plan from that game forward was I was going to make every DB play me and play what I was going to do. I didn't care what they were going to do. They was going to play me first.
Yeah.
And we've obviously heard, all the stories about Dan Campbell. We've seen him do the actual crazy things. We've seen the Antoine Randall give J-Mo, the dad finger on the sideline.
Awesome.
What's like the wildest thing you heard from a coach with your time with the Detroit Lions?
So Coach Campbell was just telling us a story. I forget what game it was going into, and it was pretty funny. But the base of the story was he was saying that he was in a situation or a scenario growing up, and I guess kind of like a fight broke out or something like that. And he said that I want to say he was on the ground or something, and all he saw was like the back of somebody's heel, kind of like their Achilles.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
And he said all he could think in his mind was he wanted to make his teeth touch. And I forget what game it was going into, man. I'm like, man, that's a true Dan story, man. And every time guys hear stories like that, man, it fires us up.
Yeah.
Just to hear a story from a coach, and how just relatable certain things are, and the parallels between life and certain situations, handling adversity, how those things are so parallel to an NFL season.
Yeah.
I think he always kept that in perspective with us, in the biggest games and in the biggest moments. He'll kind of tell guys a story, to just kind of knock the edge off a little bit and just to kind of give that parallel, and for us, last year in those situations we thrived.
I read your story. I think it was a free press. You're talking about maybe hanging it up a little bit, but also as the right situation comes by. What is that next step for you? I see you on Twitter with the sports takes. I see your YouTube channel. I was checking that out too. What do you got going on?
Yeah, so I do a lot of media stuff. I've kind of continued to do that a little bit more each and every year. For me, I had broke my foot a couple years ago in LA, and I had kind of been nursing that injury a little bit over the last couple seasons. So for me, I wanted to give myself a little bit of time off, a little bit more time off. Throughout the this off season, just to kind of let my body heal up a little bit more. So I've still been training, still been working out. But once the season ended, I kind of gave myself a little bit more time than normal. But I'm feeling good. I'm still training. So if the right opportunity does come up, I'll be ready. Again, this part of the year for me is always kind of like a part where I kind of start to ramp up everything. So I'm feeling good and I'm training. So we'll see.
And what's your best advice for somebody trying to become an Allen Robinson? In the city of Detroit?
I would say for me, man, growing up, it just was about putting the work in, and it was about dominating the person in front of me. And I had that mentality on all levels. I tell guys, there is no cheating the process. You can't get, if you're in high school, you can't get to the NFL any quicker than anybody else. It's a process. You have to, go through the time in high school, go to college for 3 years, So I tell guys, just to kind of, relax and not look so much to the next level. Everybody asks me, advice coming from an NFL person, but the high school game and college game, even from a rule standpoint, is so different, so it's hard to say, okay, do this or do that, when in college they can have hands on you until the ball's in the air, which is much differently than how I run routes now, which was a little bit different than how I ran routes in college, so the advice that I do give to everybody, man, is just dominate the person in front of you. And if you continue to focus on that, continue to focus on your craft and how you can get better each and every day you step on, whether that's the grass, the court, the golf course, whatever it may be, if you find a way for you to get better each and every day, you'll be where you want to end up.
And now you see these college athletes, man, they're making more money than first-round draft picks. You had multiple 1,000-yard years at Penn State. How much money would you have been bringing in at Happy Valley, man?
I probably would have made a pretty nice penny. But, at the same time, man, and this might be or seem a little cliche because I've been able to make some money and stuff in my career, but I'm glad that I didn't have to make those decisions at 17 and 18 years old, because just as much as you see guys making a lot of money, you see guys transferring from different places where they've had success, trying to get money, and then they end up getting paid to go to a USC, and then they don't have the season that they may want to have, then they transfer somewhere else, then they end up transferring again, so you see a lot of different situations where sometimes guys chasing the money doesn't really pan out to their overall football career. So I tell a lot of guys in college as well, man, try to keep the main thing the main thing. At the end of the day, if you want to play on Sundays, make decisions based on playing on Sundays, not trying to pad your pocket right now. Because again, man, when you're 17, 18, 19 years old, a lot of times people have a lot of people in their corners, a lot of other people, who are trying to help them make decisions and so on and so forth, who aren't having to be under the gun where their career is on the line, to be able to say, okay, is this the right football decision that I'm making, or is this just a good financial decision in a moment? Because those things are two different things. Yeah, you have certain situations where, both of those play hand in hand, but at the same time, guys may take the money now and depending on the circumstance and situation, it may hurt you in the long run. So I just tell a lot of guys, in college now that there's so much money being thrown around, man, to just make sport decisions. And if your goal is to play on Sundays, then make decisions that support you playing on Sundays.
That's great advice.
That is great advice.
Speaking of money, what's the first thing you bought when you signed that? You got that signing bonus in Chicago.
You know what's crazy? I've never bought anything crazy, man. The biggest purchase that I've bought was I put a down payment for my house in Georgia. That was a few years ago after I was in LA. But for the most part for me, man, I haven't really bought nothing crazy, to be honest. A couple of chains. I did buy a chain when I went to the Pro Bowl. I had told myself if I go to the Pro Bowl and we win, it was a nice Cuban link chain that I was going to buy. So I ended up buying that. But other than that, man, again, I've had my family here in Detroit, man, who have kept me very humble and very supported, and when I say supported, meaning that, I've never felt, the need or urge to buy anything that I didn't, absolutely want or need, I should say. So I haven't bought anything too crazy, man. And growing up in Detroit, man, I seen the Dream Cruise and went to the car shows and stuff like that. So I've never really been a car guy either, So for me, luckily I've had some luck in that area where I haven't had anything that has really, had my pocket itching too much.
Yeah.
And
I'd have been at Legends.
If this is too on the spot, let me know. But could you give us your wide receiver Mount Rushmore? Like, who would be the top four of all time?
Definitely Randy Moss for sure. Jerry Rice. I mean, this may sound crazy, man. He was in my draft class, man, but depending on how this year goes, this would be year 12. If Mike Evans can go for 1,000 yards again, man.
Thank you, bro.
No one talks about
Nobody talks about
I don't know how you don't ultimately, respect that as far as any kind of milestone, to just not only the availability to be able to do that, but across the board, statistically being able to do that and performing at that level. Like I said before, being available that often to have 11 straight 1,000-yard seasons, it says a lot, man. So he's definitely up there as well. And then I probably would say I gotta throw T.O. in there, man. T.O. is a different breed.
Favorite.
T.O. is a different breed of a receiver. I know him and Randy Moss. They have crazy statistic numbers, but but I'll probably say those four right there.
I respect the guy who talks the talk and then walks the walk, because everyone's trying their damnedest to take you out.
Crazy too,
for sure.
Love me some me.
Yep.
Man, I appreciate you coming up and taking the time. You got anything you want to promote? I know you got the YouTube channel.
Yeah, man, I got the YouTube, man. Follow me, Allen Robinson 313, man. I drop a lot of cool stuff on there from a lifestyle content, going to playoff games, boxing matches, and different things like that. Sporting events, food stuff. So follow me on there. Follow me on X. It's Allen Robinson as well. And again, man, I'm always talking sports, man, and I enjoy, the sports. I enjoyed being here in Detroit playing last year, man. That was a blast, to be a part of what I would say, the best season in franchise history when it comes to wins and offensive statistics. I think that was something that was it was a surreal feeling for me, man, growing up in the city, seeing Dan Orlovsky run out the back of the end zone, seeing some 0-16 seasons and stuff like that, man, to be a part of a team, that went 15-2 and from an offensive standpoint broke a ton of records, man. It was a blast being back in the city.
That's got to be amazing. Any hot sports takes you want to get off your chest? Anything that pisses people off?
I think Oklahoma City closes it out. That's one. I'm very curious to see who the Pistons add to kind of help take them to the next level, man. I think they have some good options.
I saw your KD tweet.
KD don't want to come here though. But
he wants to go back to Texas.
But I do think that, because how I look at it is, man, it's like when you compare them to the Pacers, I think they need a player similar to Siakam. I think Cade is a little bit better than Tyrese Halliburton. I think Halliburton has played a little bit better down the stretch. Again, it was a couple shots that Cade missed that could have sealed the deal and won the game that essentially Halliburton hit against the Knicks. So, I think Cade's right there. I think that if we can kind of get that next player who can be a 3-level scorer for us and be an efficient scorer, especially down the stretch, that Cade can also lean on a little bit when we need a bucket.
Yeah.
And also shout out to the Tigers, man. They're doing their thing as well.
Yeah.
Tigers fun to watch.
Is that your hat company?
No, it's not. It's somebody made these. A dude I know in L.A. He made a couple for me, man, and sent them to me. And not only is it comfortable, but I love the design of them. But it's extremely comfortable too.
Yeah, those are cool. I saw that in the YouTube video. I was like, I'm not getting one of them.
I appreciate it.
I like unique hats, like something like no one else got on. Yeah,
I appreciate it.
And I did want to ask, who's the biggest psycho in the Lions locker room? Like you said, we've got a lot of great guys. They draft high character guys, but they also, when I hear Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell guy, I'm not thinking of like the Lions guys of the past. They used to be like choir boys. Yeah. Dan Campbell, Brad Holmes just want dudes who love football. So you got some psychos in it. Who was like the craziest person in the locker room?
I'll probably say Panay.
Yeah?
Yeah. Panay is turned up, man. He's turned up, but you got to love it, man. Whenever you can have your tackle not only be as skillful as he is and have as much football knowledge as him, but also have a little bit of psychoness to him, man. You want that in your tackle.
He grabbed Aaron Donald by the face his rookie year.
And again, you want a guy like that up front in the trenches that's always towing the line. You know, if you don't have anybody that's challenging a person like Aaron Donald, in some games, for me, if I want any position group on my team on edge, I want it to be in the trenches. I want those guys towing the line each and every snap. Be smart, play smart, but definitely toe the line.
We talk about that all the time. I say you can't be nice and play offensive or defensive line because you're just trying to destroy the dude across from you every play.
And again, like I said before, I think that's what makes it so cool about the Lions, because you have that in your receiver room.
Yeah.
You have that in your running back room.
Yeah.
So you have that in so many different rooms with guys towing the line. To whereas again, man, it's like a boxing match. It's like once you get late in the games, and we would see it last year, we would get late into the games with some of these teams, man, and they get tired of you pushing them a little bit to the whistle after the play, man. Those guys get tired of it. They get frustrated of it, and you just see them eventually bow out.
Yeah.
And speaking of running backs,
Williams last year.
Yeah.
When Jack called him on the sideline, but you shouldn't be dicking around.
Yeah.
Get out of bounds.
Yeah. And again, that's a prime example of when you allow guys to do that. It allows for them to be a little bit more comfortable when at the end of the day for Caleb, it's like next time he's not going to think twice. He's going to get out of bounds. He's going to get out of bounds. We're not playing those games here.
And speaking of running backs, real quick, I just thought of this. What was it like being reunited with your former teammate, David Montgomery, here in Detroit?
It was great, man. I think David is a person that I love that he's getting the amount of credit and not only notoriety, because I don't want to make it seem like it's a superficial thing, but for it to be on notice with how hard he plays, what he brings to the table each and every game, and for him to be able to be the heart and soul of a team, because he was that when he was in Chicago. So for him to kind of have the exit for Chicago that I thought was pretty unwarranted for a guy with his skill set, with what he brought to the table as a running back, to see him to be able to come here and be in a culture that loves and embraces every part of that player, and to see him thrive like that, man, I'm happy, man. There's nothing, for a vet to, whereas it's a person that you see that's drafted and come in to have the success that they're having now, man. It's awesome. I'm happy for him. I love that for him. And I think he's going to continue to have success, man. I see he has his diet right. He's eating right. He trains hard. He has a good offseason regimen down. So, for me as a person who, again, was with him when he was younger, and try to help instill some of those things in guys as a vet, whether that's in conversations and so on and so forth, to see, where he has come and where he has developed and just the player that he is, man, it's pretty cool to see.
Alan, man, I really appreciate you coming up here, man.
I appreciate you having me, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Before we let you go, what's the record prediction for the Lions next year? Tough schedule.
It is a tough schedule. We was 15-2 this year. I would probably say, I want to say 12-5.
Okay.
I like that.
But I think this year is something that, and Saint said it. I saw in an interview, he said that the Super Bowl is the main thing. So I think that, once you've won a division a couple times, once you've, been the number one seed, once you've kind of checked so many different things off the box, you can keep in sight that the main thing is the main thing, and it's one goal, in mind.
Yeah.
So, and I say that because I think that when you have that and everybody adopts that mentality, even if you lose a game or two here that you may not have lost the year before, you know that you're keeping the main thing and what the overall big goal is. And I think that everybody in the locker room will have that mentality and adopt that no matter how tough the schedule is or if it's some adversity that hits this year.
Yeah.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Pro Bowl wide receiver, my guy Allen Robinson. Make sure you follow him on YouTube, X. We definitely got to get you back up for some sports takes,
for sure, man.
Whatever.
For sure.
We'll make the graphics top 10 list. Whatever it is, man. We got you, man.
Definitely. I appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
Tell us about Ven Johnson, Luke.
If you got a crisis, let Ven point the way. Step 1, verify with details and photos. Step 2, engage your attorney. Step 3, notify your insurance provider. Get justice with Ven Johnson Law.
Hey, let me tell you about Lady Jane's. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. They're always open. Walk-in's always welcome. You can get a hot lather, neck shave, scalp massage, hot towel treatment from one of our lovely, talented stylists. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. It's wicked awesome.
Sports fan, Woodward Sports is here to give you all the Detroit sports you can handle. Weekdays, make sure you're locked in on Wake Up Woodward from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Followed by Big D Energy with Neil Rule and Darren McCarty from 11 a.m. to 1. Up next, you can't miss Ermanni and Edwards with Maz from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. And finish the day out with the bad boys of Detroit sports media, the Woodward Heavyweights, from 5 to 7 p.m. Okay, wait, that isn't enough for you, you sports freak. Check out Woodward Wings, Woodward Ringside, and the Lions Weekly Update every Sunday with Broder, Terry Foster, and Sean Baligian. Subscribe on YouTube for all our great content, and make sure you're following on all social media, X, IG, Facebook, and TikTok. You want sports? We got you covered. Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports. Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Why do we fight? We fight to protect the innocent, to hold the powerful accountable, to bring the oppressors to justice. Why do we fight? We fight to secure and preserve our civil liberties, to get each and every one of our clients the justice they deserve, and to make the lives of real people just like you whole again. ThenFights.com.
The bats are hot, and the weather is getting hotter. Summertime in the D with Detroit's big hitters, Woodward Sports.
Mad Packs are in. Damn, I should have gave Alan some Mad Packs before he left. We got some in the back. I could have hooked him up. I don't know if he smokes or not, but
I'll grab some.
Oh yeah, we can grab some for sure. But Mad Packs, you can grab some too. Go to getmadpacks.com. You can find them at any dispensary near you today. They got a bunch of good stuff. Talked about the high-low pre-rolls, the Boom Shakalaka Tarantulas, the Blizzard Pack Moon Rocks, and of course just the regular flour they got. It's Mad Packs. And let me tell you about Dr. Pierce. Attention sports fans, don't miss out on expert sports injury insights with Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spine. Join him every Tuesday on Big D Energy and Thursdays on Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, where he offers top-notch injury advice. Trust the guy that D-Mac trusts. Dr. Jeff Pierce is here to keep you in the game and performing at your best. For more information, visit him at Michigan Sports and Spine or give him a call at 248-426-9944.
I think one of the coolest things, by the way, welcome back to Whatever Waits Live, WoodSports.com. I'm Easy, joined by Small Raxter.
What up, though?
Chris Skywalker in the building. We just had Allen Robinson come through. If you guys are just now joining, make sure you rewind for that interview.
Great interview.
Phenomenal interview.
Shout out to Allen Robinson. That was awesome.
Make sure you subscribe to his YouTube channel.
He's got a future in
for sure.
Oh, for sure.
I'm about to we got to make that like a regular thing.
Yes.
He definitely likes to talk sports. If you guys follow him on Twitter, if you don't already, you know, he's with your boy on the trade, JI train. If we got to upgrade for it.
Oh, my God.
He's full of sports takes.
Well, yeah, if you got to upgrade for it.
Yeah.
Okay, that changes things though. Like you're saying trade Jay Ivey for a bag of Doritos.
No,
I'm saying
relax.
if you trade Jay Ivey for Devin Booker, I'm not going no. Like
honestly, he
say
probably would have been down to have that conversation too, because I know the Trey Murphy stuff came out yesterday as well.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
The Pistons might be super interested in him.
They should be.
They should be.
They should absolutely be interested in Trey Murphy.
What do you think it takes?
It takes a young guy and a pick or two. I mean, look, he's going to have a market. When you are a two-way wing that had 40-point games last year. Now, I get it. Nobody was watching the Pelicans, but I was because I had him in fantasy basketball. And this guy, Trey Murphy, was absolutely incredible. I mean, this is the guy, when you talk about surrounding Cade with players, that is an archetype that you absolutely want. If you could get a Trey Murphy in this locker room, I mean, that to me is a transformation. I would go even as far as to say, as much as I like Lauri Markkanen as an addition for the Pistons as well, I would definitely value Trey Murphy over that just because I know that Lauri Markkanen maybe is ranked higher right now, but I think Trey Murphy is a better player overall.
Got superstar potential,
and
dude.
yeah, he can do some stuff off the bounce. He can do some stuff off the bounce. That's something that Lauri Markkanen has had all the opportunities in Utah to do and hasn't really showcased that. Lauri Markkanen is just an excellent plug-and-play guy, don't get me wrong, but, I mean, Trey Murphy, I mean, that's a guy that is, you know, at his ceiling competing for All-Stars.
Plays both ways. Yeah, I think that's exactly what you're looking for.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a guy that, like, personality-wise could rock and stay within, like, Detroit. You know what I'm saying? Not looking for, like, the bright lights of L.A. or New York or any other stuff.
And,
like,
I mean, look,
he's down to hoop.
Yeah, he's down to hoop. He's a hooper for sure, and I think he's also a guy that, you know, fits what this team is and what this team is going for. You know, like I just think that's a home run pick. I think you go for him, and I also think, again, not to ship him off anxiously, but a guy like a Jaden Ivey, a guy like Jalen Duren, whoever you throw in that trade. New Orleans is in a position where that's enticing to them. We talked about with Memphis, they probably don't want to go down that route. New Orleans is looking to completely blow it up. They're looking to get rid of Zion. They're looking to get off DeJounte Murray's contracts. I mean, they're going to be aggressive. They're going to be super aggressive this summer. And I think if you're trading Trey Murphy, you are signaling you want a full-on rebuild. And so young guys like Jaden Ivey and Jalen Duren would be very much more appealing, I think, to them than they would Memphis. So I think it's a call you should definitely make. I think it's a call Trajan definitely made. And if he didn't, then that tells me something too, because he was there with Trey Murphy. So if he doesn't make that call, then he knows something that none of us know.
I forgot that he was
true.
there.
He drafted Trey Murphy.
Yeah, like a favorite spot for him to land is here.
Yeah,
because of that.
Yeah,
got good relationships in the front office too, so you're not getting completely dicked on the deal.
Yeah, and again, who knows who drafted who in terms of, like, the draft room is always like who wanted who more than others, blah blah blah. But I mean, yes, under Trajan Langdon's time there, Trey Murphy was drafted, so I would like to think that he's at least decently favorable on him. So I yeah, that's a move you do 10 times out of 10, because then oh my god, like then you don't need like Asar and Holland to just worry about shooting. You want them to improve, but it's not as necessary for them to be the shooters. Like dude,
Trey Murphy is every single team in the NBA is going to want Trey Murphy. What he projects to be is an elite 3-and-D guy, like super. Like he had a couple 40 bombs.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The dude he had 40 balls. Like, you don't get that if you don't have, to go back to our intro, a bag.
Yeah, like, and it could be like, well, I mean, Malachi Flynn has a 50 bomb, so it could be like he was the bad team. He had to shoot it. That's definitely part of it. Yeah. But still, he's shown that he can score efficiently with high output, and he's not going to be asked to do that on this team. He's going to be the second guy. So, I would take Trey Murphy pretty much over anybody that we've realistically talked about outside of like KD. I'd take him over Miles Turner or Lauri Markkanen for sure.
Yeah, I'd take him over KD just because of the timeline. Honestly, like truthfully.
Yeah, I'm not mad at
if
that.
I'm being honest. Obviously, Kevin Durant's a much better player, but yeah, I mean, I was gonna make a joke that LeBron has a Malachi Flynn light bag, but I will say that Trey Murphy, even though they played some bad games last year, he showed that he is an absolute good player, because he was doing it when they were the year before trying to contend for a playoffs, and you know the cycle that the Pelicans had. They had Brandon Ingram missing games. They had Zion missing games. So he was plugging and playing last year and getting 20-plus on a team that was actually competing. So I think this guy is the real deal. I think he should be one of the top targets for Detroit.
Where does that take the Pistons? Are we talking finals, Eastern Conference Finals?
Okay, it does depend on the trade package. But I mean, if you're talking about shipping out Jaden Ivey and picks and bringing in Trey Murphy and bringing back Schroeder to replace the Ivey production and the internal growth, I think you are talking about a team that has a very realistic chance at being a Final Four team in the NBA. Not saying they're going to get there, because you do have to learn some things in the playoffs, but they have absolutely the potential with Trey Murphy, with Trey Murphy and bringing back the other guys and the young guys. I think we're sleeping on just how much.
What
of
would
this
you
team
have
is
to
young.
give up to get Trey Murphy, though? I don't think you'd get Trey Murphy.
What he was saying, Ivy and Duren.
They don't want Ivy and Duren.
They'd be more appeasing than.
They'd take Ivy.
But you're not trading both of them for Trey.
They would take Ivy for sure.
Yeah.
No, but I feel like they'd want either Asar and Ron as well.
I think
for Trey Murphy.
I think you would have to look at Ron. I would honestly be willing to do Ivy, Ron, and a pick.
It'd be more than that.
I know.
More
I know
than
it's a
one
steep
pick.
price.
It'd be like
but,
4 picks.
But I gotta.
Desmond Bane just went for 4 picks.
Yeah, but we're not doing that with every trade. Like even.
I mean, for a guy like Trey Murphy, you are.
I get what you're saying, but like even the insiders were like, hey, just so you know, Kevin Durant's not going for Desmond Bane level.
Yeah,
picks.
but Trey Murphy, like you just said, you value Trey Murphy more than Kevin Durant. Yeah. I think Trey Murphy would go for pretty much exactly what Mikal Bridges went for. Like they're extremely comparable.
It depends too. There's a lot of variables on what the team wants and also what you're getting back. Like Orlando wasn't giving up players in assets in that. Like Cole Anthony is not an asset as a player. KCP is not an asset as a player. Like that was just straight picks. Whereas Ivy
is Ivy coming
KCP
off of
a
gruesome leg injury who needs to sign a rookie max deal that much of an asset?
I think he definitely is.
Right now. Oh, he's talking about right now.
Yeah. He's not getting.
I think everyone for the most part
traded
knows,
right now.
As long as you get the medicals back and it was a clean break that we're told it is.
Yeah.
Then
you're probably still making
I don't think his value is as
But
down
if
as
you're on the other side, you're definitely making that
higher,
argument. You're definitely saying, hey, I need to see him back from injury, which is why none of this stuff is really happening for sure until the deadline. But but if Murphy's truly available, then I mean Trey's definitely having that conversation without a doubt. He's
the phone and Trey Murphy could be available at the deadline because I don't think the Pelicans are. They're making a lot of moves, but I don't think they're making them all this offseason. I think they're a team that is weighing their options.
Would they be better than the Magic after what they just did?
I would like the Pistons better than the Magic.
If the Pistons got Herb Jones?
If they got Trey Murphy.
Or Trey Murphy, excuse me, yeah.
We did that yesterday, too.
Yeah. If the Pistons got Trey Murphy,
I did that yesterday too,
and kept Asar, and re-signed Malik Beasley,
and
Duren, and kept Duren, Asar, re-signed Malik Beasley.
Yeah, I'm over the Magic.
Yeah, I would say they're better than the Magic.
But right now, Magic.
I think the Magic took a step over the Pistons.
Yeah.
I can't deny that.
On paper, the Magic got to stay healthy. Everybody on the team gets hurt all the time, so.
Yeah. You just saying rolling on because it's basketball.
Well, no, we came back. We only came back like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, there was like 4 minutes.
Yeah, so, I mean, I would say keep it rolling.
That's crazy about an NFL player on and then it just ended up turning to a basketball conversation.
We definitely got to have him on more time. He was great.
Yeah. Got a guy's number now, so.
Yep.
We've been chatting.
He's followed me on Twitter.
Nice.
Shout out. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Never had none of the fucking PFF guys follow me, but Allen Robinson, a guy who's made a Pro Bowl in the NFL and has had an insane career, he follows me immediately. Fuck you, PFF.
That's crazy.
To be fair, maybe they don't know you're,
I mean, I tag him and take a picture, tag him.
Oh, that's
Allen Robinson's a real one though. That was, like I said, that was just a great interview. Yeah, and like you said, you could tell. Chris, he said he's got a future for sure.
Yeah,
no
doubt.
Yes.
No doubt.
It was so.
I want him to succeed.
Effortless.
He's a great guy.
Yeah,
very well
great
spoken.
dude. Very well. Effortless too. It was.
Stick with credit Orchard Lake St. Mary's.
Yeah, shout out.
Which we didn't even get to talk about.
We
That's
didn't
the too. There's so much more.
So much
there.
more, yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to kind of ask him about Bryce Underwood, being a guy from Detroit himself.
I wanted to ask him about the Jaguars collapsing.
I kind of wanted to ask him about Blake Bortles.
AFC Championship, then fucking dipped out. Yeah, for sure.
I love Blake Bortles.
I
Blake Bortles is like Florida Jay Cutler.
Yeah, kind
Did he play with both of them? Did he play with Jay Cutler? No, right?
No.
Oh,
So.
man,
That's
that would
way
be,
before him.
That would be
he was
awesome.
Drafted.
No, Jay Cutler was in the league for a little while.
No, I'm saying when he was in Chicago, that was before Allen Robinson was drafted.
Yeah, but
you're saying like was he played with Cutler in Chicago?
Yeah.
No, not a chance.
His last year in Chicago was 2016. Allen Robinson's.
He got drafted 25th.
Dude, we gotta ask him too what he thinks of the new receiver as well.
Just missed him.
I'd be curious to see his thoughts on Tesla as well.
Yeah, that's why I said that to him when we were taking that picture. I was like Tesla because he said he saw someone rank the Lions receiving core 8th, which is ridiculous, and he said we're gonna have him on again soon because I do want to talk to him about. He said he likes Tesla and thinks he could be. He
also had a lot of. He had. I guess different. You know, a guy, your actual teammate, but from other people I've talked to, he had a lot of good things to say about Jared Goff.
Yeah, I kind of want to ask him about PFF now.
That's
not following
me
back.
Credited having faith in the Lions offense with
That's
JG.
so crazy.
Yeah.
When I asked him, Ben Johnson leave, he was like, "When we got a guy like JG."
I know. I looked at you. You didn't make eye contact.
Easy was foaming.
Easy's heart in his mind. He's like, no.
You stole my comp question.
But
I had to take your stupid question.
Wait, I stole your what question?
You play with both guys. What are the differences?
yeah. You stole my Ben Johnson question.
No, I had to because you took mine.
That's fair.
Better use your stupid one.
You asked like 6 questions in a row to start it.
Yeah. My guess.
Yeah.
Allen Robinson played with Mitch Trubisky. Allen Robinson holds the Chicago Bears record for most receiving yards in a playoff game.
He's a dog.
143.
I used to love it was him, Allen Hurns, and Blake Bortles. Those Jacksonville teams that used to just sling that thing all over the field.
Him and Hurns were dogs.
Yes, absolutely.
Hurns like a little not as fast as J-Mo, but like he was a little speedster.
Allen Robinson.
Sorry, Chris.
I wanted to ask him because he didn't have Calvin in his Mount Rushmore.
He did not, and I wanted to tell him the chat was giving him shit.
I wanted to ask him
jump ball. Calvin's like his 5.
Jump ball, corner of the end zone. Who you taking? T.O., Calvin, Julio,
Randy Moss.
Yeah. You got
I love Calvin. Moss is 1.
If I need a fade to win a game, I'm taking Calvin. Number 1.
Yeah.
Ever.
You have to.
If it's 4th down and 1.
If it's a fade, I mean the fade that
Calvin
Johnson
route.
was so good that like people thought the fade was a play for all receivers. No.
Just for
it's only for Calvin, Julio,
6'5" freaks of nature.
Only for those guys. They had him caught in the red zone like it was an actual fucking play going to work out.
Yeah.
No. That's only like a Calvin-esque type of situation.
Yeah,
so I guess red zone, yes, Calvin, but like I'm starting like
you get mossed. Like he has a whole word.
He does. He does.
In red zone, sure, Calvin. Anything beyond that, Randy.
Yeah, but
Randy's the GOAT. I think
that's fair.
Yeah. But we also, to be fair, we also do that with Ether. You got ethered, and I'm a takeover guy. So I feel like the verbiage, it's a cool thing. It doesn't necessarily always mean the best. It means one of. It means one of.
Yeah, Moss.
Randy,
you were getting Moss.
Like if you watch some Randy highlights, they're fucking insane.
Go watch the 30 for 30 Rand University, dude. Oh my god!
Like the shit that Randy did, you don't even see in video games.
No.
Because it's not real.
He was tired.
A video game doesn't even put that as an animation. Because who the fuck else is ever doing that ever?
He was like Tyreek Hill and Kelvin Johnson combined.
Yeah, but even I don't know. Randy was ridiculous.
He was just so fluid. Yeah, Randy's insane.
So let me ask you guys
don't
this.
stretch on game day.
After talking to him, and he talked a lot about the offense. Did he give you any type of calm to the worries about the offense? I know neither of you are like super worried, but I know.
I think
because that was already kind of calm.
He echoed kind of the same sentiments that we've been saying. Jared Goff's going to be fine. The offense is going to be fine.
Talked about the weapons.
Frank Ragnow's losing. That sucks. They're going to
said that was a bigger issue than Ben.
I agree.
Yeah.
He got me way more hyped talking about Ben and how we don't really need him. I feel way more confident about this.
That was actually really dope.
That's where I was at.
It might be the breaking story from the entire interview, like the way he kind of brushed off the Ben.
That should be the clip for sure.
And to be fair, I don't know who called it turnkey. Who was it? Dan or
I think
Brad?
So.
One of them said turnkey.
It's
the little expression they used.
Like you said,
he confirmed that.
Yeah, it's an idiot-proof offense when you have all those weapons out there. it's not. I don't want to say it's not that hard because that's disrespectful, but it's hard. It's way harder to have a bad offense
at the professional level
with this level of player that you have out there than it is to have a top 10 offense in the league.
Fournette, although they're actually Fournette and Robinson were fucking phenomenal.
They were dogs, dude.
Fournette, Robinson, and Hearns could carry Blake Bortles.
Hey,
Jared Goff is just fine.
Hey, carry Blake Bortles.
Carry Blake Bortles. Jared Goff is just fine. With fucking Amon-Ra, St. Brown, Jameson Williams, Sam Laporta, Dave Montgomery, and Jameer Gibbs.
I don't know about carrying Blake Bortles.
Only thing that carry Blake Bortles.
Blake's a dog.
He's
I love Blake.
Construction worker. That's what he is.
Dude,
ripping cigs and doing construction.
That's what I was going to say. The only thing that carries him is nicotine.
Dude, the shit when he was like, "What's Batty?" I think it might have been his wife or whoever. They were doing an interview. She was like, "What's the first thing you do in the morning?" He's like,
"Take a piss."
Take a piss. Dude, Blake Bortles the man. And he had a cannon, bro.
That was really early Barstool. I guess. I didn't even know that. Just a fan. It's Dan Campbell's team, and this season will prove that. It's always been Dan Campbell's team. This turnaround does not happen without the culture of Dan Campbell.
Yeah, he said it himself.
Yeah, there's not a all right, let's go to break. Come back, collect ourselves, put in some mailbags. Oh no, we got way far away from mailbag. Chris, did you do your convince? What are you trying to convince us of today?
I did.
Do you want to do that?
He's going to convince us. He's coming up next. Chris is going to try to convince us that he's straight. But first, let me tell you about Caesars Sportsbook.
I got it all planned out. You don't talk about Caesars.
He's going to kiss easy on the lips and then not get excited about it. Caesars Sportsbook.
See, look, nothing.
The official sportsbook of Woodward
It's
Sports.
easy now, remember?
Oh, yeah, it is. Tell us about Caesars.
Idiot. This guy.
Caesars Sportsbook. Use the promo code Woodward1000 where you can win up to $1,000 back in your bonus bets. If your first bet loses, scan the QR code or visit CaesarsSportsbook.com. Bet Jared Goff to win MVP if you feel that way about it. Put up to $1,000 on that bet, and you'll get it back when it doesn't happen by using promo code Woodward1000.
The bad boys of Detroit sports media are here. We won't back down. We are Woodward Sports, Detroit's #1 sports network.
Hey, Tony, what's up, bro?
Same circus, different clowns.
For sure. You want the usual, the big zip?
You know me too well.
I threw a little something extra in there for your ma.
Oh,
Hope
man.
she's doing all right.
Ay, guy, sei un santo. You're a saint.
All right, buddy, we'll see you next time, okay?
Grazie.
You know how some things are so good they should be world famous, but they're not? Our house-made vinaigrette is one of those things. And the antipasto salad, we drizzle it over. Same with our hand-battered chicken tenders. Original recipe soups and pasta sauces. It's almost as if our original, world-famous Detroit-style pizza is mocking them. And that's not very nice.
Congratulations to the real coach of the year, Motor City Dan Campbell.
Just put your head down and go to work. It's about to be fun, man. It's about to be fun.
Woodward Sports.
Buddy's Pizza in Detroit since 1946. I couldn't even vote back then. That's how long Buddy's been around.
Jesus, man.
Use promo code 10mil and get the best Detroit-style pizza because it's the original Detroit-style pizza from Buddy's Pizza. They got pasta, salads, and more. It's Buddy's Detroit-style pizza.
Shout out again to Allen Robinson for coming through, man.
Shout out.
Absolutely electric interview. If you guys haven't seen it, make sure you check it out. We can rewind a little bit. We did a lot. We talked about a lot. We talked about his college years, obviously his playing career, the Lions, the future of the Lions. It was awesome.
Nick.
Because, dude, I love that he's I hate Michigan State because I fucking hate Penn State so much, dude. Penn State, I almost hate Penn State as much as I hate Michigan. Like, I fucking hate Penn State.
Don't get it.
It's our rival. That's our second biggest rival. And we used to dog Penn State every time we played them. Jaden Reed, corner of the end zone in the snow.
You wouldn't get it, Michigan fan.
All right, so I've noticed, obviously, summertime it's hard to make prep. Not a lot going on. There's just not.
Unless you get Allen Robinson to walk in.
Unless you get Allen
nice
Robinson
pull,
to walk
by the way.
in. Please, thank you. I appreciate you. Appreciate him.
Yes.
But I noticed BDE, they're slick with it. They got the top 5 list.
Mm-hmm.
They got the rest in peace. We need a routine topic.
RIP Tuesdays. Yeah,
there's block fillers, segment fillers. You don't even got to fucking look for anything there. I wanted to present a new one called "Can Chris Convince Us?" Mm-hmm. Because Chris is notoriously bad at articulating things. And this is also an exercise for him.
That's a projection.
Yeah, you're just a yapper.
That's just a projection.
Like when I introduced you to Lindsey Hunter, I was like, just shut the fuck up already. Just say hi.
It wasn't like that.
I was kind of like that.
I think you do some projecting.
Okay.
I'm not denying that I'm long-winded, but it wasn't like that. You can feel when somebody's doing that.
Oh, you were doing it. I was trying to save you. I was trying to save both of you.
You do it a lot.
I don't think so. You just came over and you're like, shut the fuck up.
Because you were doing it.
Nah.
But
he was fine. He was cool.
No, I wasn't, dude.
Here's ours that we're going to try. If you guys have any recommendations for us, I'd gladly take them.
Here's one. Detroit Supremacy says, can Chris convince us that his Wisconsin trips aren't for getting piped?
I think it's more gross that Chris would be the girl.
The best part, you can't write how funny it was that he said the 2 bars we went to were called Pickles and Brothers.
Yeah.
Like, that's just...
And that was the downtown, lit area. Yes, that was where you needed to go. That was for a night out. You went to Brothers, and then you went to Pickles.
Of course, dude. Wisconsin's probably such a fucking hellhole.
And Eau Claire is like their... I will say this. Eau Claire is like their Atlanta. It really was. I'm not gonna lie. So it was crazy. And I went June, so yeah, it was just a lot of.
And it was in June, yeah. That's.
And it was like June 3rd. It was like right as June started. Like, all right, guys, I'm going.
Chris, what will you be trying to convince us of today?
So, I thought I had one last week that I was gonna do, but since that passed, that was a non-sports one too. I went for a big one this week. So, with 2025, we're halfway through the decade. I think that by 2030, you should expect all teams in the Detroit sports professional circle to be contenders or they have contended. And when you look at that, I'm setting the line at 2.5 championships by 2030.
Wow.
And I would be disappointed if they hit the under. So I went through all the teams. I went through all 4 of the teams. The Lions, obviously in their window right now. Yeah. One of the best teams in football. I think a team that, at worst, will stay that way for another 1 to 2 years. I think I can't see a world in which they're not contending 2 years from now.
Yeah.
I think that, and you can argue that their contention window can stay open for the rest of the decade because of Brad Holmes. You could argue that. I'm not here to put you that, but I put their contending window as from right now going forward 1 to 3 years. I have the Tigers, who are right now first in their conference. You're looking at a team that, to me, is, with the stockpiled assets they have, with the fact that in baseball you can just make the move if you want to make the move. I think they're contending for the rest of this decade. The Pistons. I think the Pistons are a team where right now with Kate Cunningham, Anson famously called their 2002. They're 2 years away. I think it might be a little bit longer than that, but I think by the year 2030, they will have at least 2 years where they're considered a contender. At least 2 years, probably I would say 3. And then you have the Red Wings, who I think are going to be the slowest to the race, but with the cap going up, a lot of your young guys locked in. I did research on the Red Wings too, so I did deep dive on them too, and I'm like, I feel like this team is not as far away as we think right now. So I feel like 2 championships by 2030. I feel pretty confident in that.
You said over 2.5.
Yeah, over 2.5
so
is where.
3 championships.
Yeah, so 3 championships. Sorry, and
in the city of Detroit.
Yes, in the city of Detroit, and you can stretch that how you want. Like maybe Tigers go back to back and the Lions get one or whatever. I just look at it too as like. Then I got into research. Well, first before I do that, where you guys at with that?
Yeah, it's gonna be a no from me, big dog.
No.
I can't say 3 championships in the next 5 years.
Dude,
I can't. I would probably die.
I'll take that.
Yeah. I'd take 1 championship in the next 5 years.
Boys for sure.
Yeah. But I understand where you're coming from, that they are all, well, except for the Red Wings, the Tigers and the Lions. You think, if you said, will the Tigers or Lions win a championship in the next 5 years, I would say yes to both of them. But the Pistons, we have to see. The Pistons are at an extremely important crossroads here coming up soon. The Red Wings are trash right now. I can't even say they're going to make the playoffs in the next 3 years. So I know what you're saying. I could see you get 2 from what I can't project 3 championships in the next 5 years.
Okay, so if I drop it though to 1.5, you'd take the over.
That's what I was going to say. I think 1.5 is
1.5 is more of a debate. 1.5 is more of a debate for sure. I still probably wouldn't take it, because 2 championships in 5 years. We haven't seen a championship in 20 years.
I think the Lions could get 1, and then that just leaves the Tigers and the Pistons if they get 1.
Yes,
I think 1.5 is a little more realistic.
When was the last Red Wings?
Oh wait,
that was the last one, huh?
Mm-hmm.
You said it one more time, Skywalker. I apologize.
I said I think the Lions could definitely get 1 in 5 years, and that just comes down to if the Tigers or the Pistons can
I don't
get
know.
1.
I mean,
I like 1.5. I think 3 would be like the city of Detroit might burn down if.
Well, I could take this.
Would. We would become. I hate to say it, but as fans, we become like the Philadelphia snob noses, where you're trying to fire shit that's like doing well for you.
I could take this a step further, but before I do,
we already are like that.
Before I take this a step further for the Pistons, which I agree, but I'm looking at the 2 teams that are in the finals right now. The Detroit roster construction mirrors both of them, and you have Kate Cunningham, who is 23, and you have SGA in the finals at 26. We've talked about it all year, that SGA and Cade, very similar projections. And where was OKC 2 years ago? Bottom of the play-in. Where was Indy 2 years ago? 11th in the East. In this era, where a lot of things are fluid with the CBAs, I just feel like you could get to the dance and get a chance to punch one in. And so I get it if you don't want to say 3 championships in the next couple years. But then I did the research a little bit more, and I thought about, okay, has there ever been a period in American sports history where all 4 of the pro teams got a championship within a 10-year window? And that's only happened with LA and Boston. Not Dallas, not New York, not none of them other ones. So for me, I feel like that's something that I could see happening too. I mean,
each team get a chip?
Each team get a chip in the next 10 years. If you're going 10 years from now.
I know. That's a lot.
I know it's a lot of projecting, but I just look at where the state of these teams are, and I think you could realistically argue that all of these teams by 2030 will at least have competed for championships or will be competing for championships.
I can't say definitively right now that
no one can say.
I definitely can't say definitively that the Red Wings will be in the playoffs in the next 5 years. Like, they have a lot that they need to do before they're going to be in the playoffs.
Get Marner.
Be playoff, if they get Mitch Marner, but if the Red Wings do that, then for sure I'd be. Damn, what up, girl? I think that
I can't see
the Pistons. Like I said, they're on kind of a crossroads, right? Chill, bro. When they're at the crossroads, I need to see it. I need to see what they're going to do to put themselves into that contention level. I can't say that they're going to.
I know it's crazy. I know it's crazy. I know it's easier to say no than to say yes, but I think when you look at it logically, like, all of these things can line up. And what happened is, you looked at it, it never happened in professional sports until Boston 2 decades ago, and then and then LA last decade.
Listen,
so if you're picking one city to do that in the next decade, I think it would be Detroit. Like, I really think that Detroit is there with everything, or can be there, I should say.
You got a decade to do it.
Yeah.
When the Royals win? 17?
2012 maybe.
Yeah, it might have been earlier. Listen, before you guys kill Chris in the chat, The whole point of this segment is to for it to be.
It's got to be.
It's got to be strong.
I couldn't do something.
Yeah.
2015 so soft.
2015. Like he's got.
And I see a lot of people rocking with me too.
I don't see.
Adi said IQ 300. Adi said IQ 300.
Isn't that a bad thing?
I'll keep going.
No, you want high IQs.
Yeah.
What's it go up to?
300 or I don't know. Highest
Someone's
IQ
at a
ever.
47.
Someone said.
I think it was like close to 200.
All right, so
276.
Oh.
There you go.
Young Hoon Kim of South Korea. Okay. Oh wait, South Korea? No, that's probably right. North Korea.
So after this segment, do we vote? Everyone takes a vote.
I mean, I vote no.
I'm not convinced.
I
love you and I appreciate the segment.
Yeah, no, that's what it's going to be.
Yeah.
I mean, he got us on the first one, didn't you convince us of the first one? What was it? I can't remember.
No.
But
I don't think we did this before.
I can't say over 2.5. No.
1.5, and I'm like
1.5, and that's a very good argument.
1.5. You got me.
I know. I wanted to be bold, but I feel like everybody was gonna say yes if I said 1.5. So I bumped it. So I bumped it up 1. But I think too, if you want to expand to the second part of it, the 10-year window. I mean, if you do the math of how many years you think each team is contending. Again, these are all strong forecasts and projections, and there's so many variables, obviously. But if you just sit there and think of a number of how many years each team in your mind would contend over the next 10 years for a championship in their sport, I mean, you're probably getting anywhere from 8 to 15 shots. Whoops, didn't mean to hit 0, but but I feel like you just there's a lot of opportunities here, man. I really think there are to punch some home, and I think that it looks far because of the Red Wings, but I think really it could be there. We're seeing basketball turn over faster. There hasn't been a repeat champion in basketball in 15 years. So
appreciate you, Chris.
No, since Golden State. Sorry, since Golden State. So 8-9 years.
Now. You know, I'm playing.
Let's go to break real quick. We'll come back. Chris, great job.
I sent you a picture on Slack.
That was a tough mountain for you to climb, and I think you did as good of a job as anybody could have to try to put 3 championships in 5 years is crazy.
And you had some homework.
You had some homework.
You brought Boston doing it, and you brought LA did it.
Yeah,
of course. Yeah. Those fucking places.
I know.
Title Town.
I was pissed.
All right, let's go to break. Let me tell you about the White Claw Tigers Tour. A lot of fun. Shout out to Nemo's and McShane's for having us out.
At Nemo's.
Nemo's was a lot of fun.
Guys, pull up. We usually stay after and have a few drinks.
Yep. Yeah, come up and hang out with us. The next one is on a Sunday Night Baseball, which we might be going to after. DMAC is trying to get some tickets, so the boys might be going out there for Sunday Night Baseball. Also, it is slated to be a Tarek Skubal start. And we are going to be at the Old Miami June 29th. So come out and join us. Presented by White Claw and Ben Johnson. It's the White Claw Tigers Tour.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You know, you guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
Let's give it up for David Tully, everybody. David Tully. This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Tired of losing out on the car of your dreams? Bad credit? No credit? At the Feldman Chevrolet Freedom Sale, we say yes. Over 5,000 new Chevys to choose from, all priced to move with our best deals of the year. Get a 2025 Silverado for just $149 a month, or this 2026 Equinox for only $209 a month. When other dealers say no, Feldman Chevrolet says yes. Don't miss the Freedom Sale. Going on now at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Love Woodward Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Dang, I just put a lot of the work to. I actually overcropped this photo, and now it's ruined. Got to post. Got to do the cloud chase post.
I already did it.
I know. I saw you as soon as we. While we're live on air. Shout out to Alan Robinson for coming through. Again, if you guys just now joining and you missed that interview, I promise you it's worth rewinding and checking out.
It was awesome.
Definitely have him back on. Probably more remote because he doesn't. He's not always in town. He also has a great foundation too within Reach.
Yeah.
Where he's helping out kids financially, also in school.
Damn, we should have asked him about Orchard Lake St. Mary's. Because they won the chip, right? Didn't they?
I have no clue. Don't follow high school sports.
I'm pretty sure they did.
My boy Gentry tried to get me to go like every Friday to a high school game. But it's just bad time. We get off at 7.
Yeah.
Their games start at 7.
I might go check out a Centerline game this year.
I'm down to, even like when it comes to hoops, I'm down to like look up the best recruits in Michigan and we should just go.
I'm down.
Or we could just go to Centerline and get hammered and watch some. They're actually good. They were trash when I went. We were bad.
Oh, we were bad.
Yeah, my junior and senior year, we didn't win a game. We were bad.
I was thinking about the other day, like,
but we're a
shower,
super small
like,
school.
Dog, you know how our shout out to Coach P. Like I love him, and he's a great lacrosse coach. We toss a block like this.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is that?
My sophomore year on varsity, that's when we actually won a couple games. We had 12 people on our team. On game day. On game day, we would have 12 people. We would have like 8 at practice.
I thought that's illegal.
I mean, we had to cancel the game against Southlake because we had 7 people at practice one day. It was literally just me and the boys. It was like me, Darius, PT, Chris. It was, dude, we thugged that shit out. I got severely concussed that year, like taken out in a
who came
in a stretcher
when you got hurt. I don't remember because I was not
my boy Miles Tiango. Shout out Miles.
Chris, you have that photo?
No, it's a web one. It didn't save as a JPEG.
Oh, damn it!
I hate when it does that.
We would have our boy Coach Essed running Scout D. Just him.
Yeah, I mean, it's nuts.
That was tough. I mean, we only I had I think 92 kids in my graduating class. Like we had a small,
400, I think.
Very small school.
I mean, I don't know how many kids were in my
Centerline is a mile by a mile. That's how big the city is. And you got to think all around it. You got Warren Mott, Warren Woods Tower, Warren Fitzgerald, Warren Lincoln. So,
my step
swim team was goated though. 96-3 in my career. In high school.
It's fucking sick, dude.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Swim it up, brother.
Got all the winning out swim season and then just hated my life during football season every year.
I just have to complete this story for the audience, for Spinny, because he looks like he was there in this photo. Yeah, you.
Seriously?
Remember the crazy guy I said came in?
Oh, yeah.
Fucking millionaire.
He looks like me?
Just looks nothing like you.
Oh, then why was I there?
Huh? I'm saying he looks like he was at the crazy point in this photo.
Oh, you got a picture of the guy.
Yeah. So Tally Hall was the name of the band. And then the guy had the red tie. That's who it was.
Oh, yeah.
Came in, hair was crazy, talking to himself.
Yeah, he probably did some drugs.
It's like the
and he admitted
off-brand
it. He's like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He knew he was hard. He was difficult to deal with, and he said, I had a bad trip, and I'm fucked up.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That'll do it.
Not like fucked up like from the trip, then like for life. Like fucked him up.
Yeah.
Look at that. Chris was spitting facts.
Yeah, 21 votes. Chris has an advantage.
Landslide.
Tiger's playing right now, right?
Landslide.
He's up by 64%.
Shout out Chris. Voted from 22 of his burners.
I voted for 1.
Skywalker.
Tigers is 0-0 right now, top of the second.
Any segment you didn't get to speak up on today that you want to get your stuff off your chest?
That's a good question.
Well,
do we want to rank the running back and wide receiver rooms of NFC North?
Tomorrow.
Yeah, we can do that tomorrow.
I don't know. I feel like we got everything out.
With that, we are on.
That'll do it for us today. Appreciate you guys tapping in. Again, shout out to Alan Robinson for coming through.
Yeah, that was dope.
Just, obviously amazing career in the NFL. NFL average career is like 4 years. Played for a long time, was a very productive receiver, multiple 1,000-yard seasons, and a Detroit native. So he came in here and shared and obviously played for the Lions last year. So it was awesome to pick his brains, and hopefully we can have him back on soon because he was electric. For Easy, for Luke, for Chris, I am Spencer. We are the Heavyweights. We'll catch you guys tomorrow. Peace.